The Galactic Council had seen countless species rise and fall, each bringing its own unique strengths to the stars. The Azurians were the fastest, their sleek, insect-like forms moving with precision. The Vorteri were the most intelligent, capable of processing quantum equations in mere moments. The Xelthar were the strongest, their towering forms covered in dense, armored plates. And then there were the humans. No one expected much from them. They weren't the smartest, the fastest, or the strongest. Their homeworld, Earth, was classified as a death world, a planet so hostile that most species wouldn't last a day there. Poisonous plants, aggressive wildlife, extreme weather, and natural disasters were everyday occurrences. Any species evolving in such conditions should have perished long ago. Yet, somehow, humans thrived. First contact, the unbreakable ones. When the Galactic Council made first contact with humans, they assumed Earth's inhabitants would surrender peacefully. The Vorteri, being the diplomatic leaders, sent their best negotiator to bring humanity under the Council's rule. Humans of Earth, the Vorteri ambassador declared, standing before the United Nations Assembly in Geneva, "You are now part of the Galactic Council. You will be integrated peacefully. Resistance is unnecessary." The response from the humans? No. The ambassador was taken aback. No species had ever refused integration before. Those who resisted were quickly overpowered. The Vorteri, known for their strategic genius, believed that a few demonstrations of advanced technology would make the humans reconsider. They were wrong. Within weeks, Earth's nations united, not in fear, but in defiance. The humans launched guerrilla attacks, hijacked enemy ships, and reverse-engineered alien weapons in record time. They adapted, they learned, and most terrifying of all, they refused to surrender even when outnumbered 1,000 to 1. Other species feared death, but humans, they seemed to embrace it. Captured soldiers would grin through broken teeth, their faces bloody, say things like, "You think this is bad? Try growing up in Chicago. I survived my mother's cooking. You think your death ray scares me? Pain is just weakness leaving the body." It didn't make sense. Humans should have broken. Instead, they fought harder. Resilience beyond reason. The first real test of human endurance came when the Xelthar warriors, the strongest fighters in the galaxy, took a human prisoner for study. They wanted to understand what made this species so unbreakable. The subject was a soldier named Sergeant James Carter. He was put through trials designed to shatter the will of even the toughest warriors. Extreme heat, extreme cold, isolation, physical torture. Days passed, then weeks. The Xelthar expected him to beg for mercy. Instead, Carter spent his time singing. At first, they thought it was a human distress call, but after analyzing the sounds, they realized he was simply bored and entertaining himself. Finally, one of the Xelthar guards asked, "Why are you like this?" Carter just smirked and replied, "Because I'm human." The Xelthar were disturbed. Every species they had ever encountered had limits: biological, psychological, and emotional. But the humans, their limits seemed to bend rather than break. And when they did break, they came back stronger. The reckless bravery of space orcs. As battles continued, more species encountered humans firsthand, and what they saw terrified them. Humans would charge into combat zones with nothing but a knife and a war cry. They would fix damaged ships with duct tape and sheer determination. They would eat foods considered toxic to most species and ask for seconds. They would get injured, laugh it off, and keep fighting. One incident, recorded in galactic archives, described a human pilot whose ship was damaged in battle. His oxygen was running out. Any other species would have accepted their fate. Not this human. Instead, he held his breath, jumped into open space, and manually hijacked an enemy fighter mid-flight. He then flew it back to his fleet as if nothing had happened. The enemy commander, watching the footage, simply whispered, "By the stars, they're insane." Another infamous encounter involved a squad of human marines trapped on a frozen planet. Their supplies were gone, and their radios were damaged. Most species would have succumbed to the cold, but the humans, they hunted alien wildlife, crafted makeshift weapons from debris, and built a fire using enemy armor as fuel. When reinforcements arrived 3 weeks later, they found the humans alive, well-fed, and in good spirits. The rescue commander asked how they survived. One of the Marines grinned and said, "It was just like winter training back home." The unstoppable rise of humanity. The Galactic Council, which had once ruled with absolute authority, found itself in an unprecedented situation. They weren't facing an enemy that could be intimidated, bribed, or broken. They were facing humans, the creatures who thrived on chaos, who treated hardship as a challenge, who looked at the impossible and said, "Watch me." Even after losing battles, they would regroup, adapt, and come back stronger. Their ability to endure pain, survive against impossible odds, and fight without fear made them more terrifying than any other species in the galaxy. Council leaders debated endlessly about what to do. Some wanted to continue fighting, believing that humanity could still be subdued. Others, those who had seen humans up close, knew the truth. Fighting humans was a losing battle. Not because humans had the best technology or the biggest armies, but because they would never stop fighting. And so, after years of failed campaigns, the Council had no choice. They didn't conquer humanity. Humanity conquered them. Not through brute force, though they had plenty of that, but through sheer persistence. And once they had won, humans didn't demand tribute or enslave their enemies. Instead, they simply shrugged and said, "Let's build something together." Because that's what humans did. They didn't just survive. They thrived. They didn't just fight. They conquered, then turned enemies into allies. And that's why, across every star system, one warning remains etched in every alien's mind. Never pick a fight with a human. They are the orcs of the stars, and they will never stop coming.